Hello everyone, my name is Chris, and today I'm going to show you how to use some different features that are not commonly covered in the Tor program. Now, for those uninitiated, this is not going to be a technical talk on how all of Tor works, but a quick rundown is basically how the Tor protocol works is instead of directly connecting you as a client to a server, it actually takes your connection and bounces it through a cloud of computers that are all part of the Tor network. And then it comes out the other side with a different IP address than what you normally have. This technique, it's commonly called proxying, and it's a way to hide kind of your identity on the networks. So one way this is evident is that if I want to access a Tor website, a dark web website as it were, these are typically identified with a .onion address. But if I actually try and load this page here, we can see that the connection is refused because onion address websites do not accept standard HTTP, HTTPS traffic, which is what most of the public web works on. So let's go ahead and set up a Tor proxy so we can jump on the server. So go back over here, open my command prompt, and then the first thing you're going to want to do is install the Tor programs and libraries. So I'm on Arch Linux, so I'll just type this string right here. And I already have it installed, but you'll look for some sort of Tor package on whatever distribution you're on. Then once it's installed, you're going to want to start the daemon process. Again, this is a little bit different for different operating systems, but here on Arch, I'm going to use my systemd here. Don't hate. And then just type start, enter my password, and then I can confirm that this daemon is actually running by typing status. And we can see, yes, I have the Tor service here. It's active and running. There's no issues. I can see what time it started. I can see the PID of it, which might come in handy later. But okay, we have this running. Now, one more thing I want to point out too before we jump back to the web browser is that if I do a port scan of my local computer and I can type, we'll find out that port 9050 is now open. And basically, this is a port on my computer that is going to take in connections and create proxies with them. This will make more sense in 1 second. So let me jump back over to my web browser, and we're going to set up now the proxy connection. Now, the specifics of this are different per browser. There's a way to do it on Firefox, on Chromium, on Brave, what have you. But working in qutebrowser here, we do it all by just typing. And it's pretty easy. So you type content, and then you type proxy, and then you type the address of that proxy. So you identify it first with the SOCKS protocol, and then localhost being this local machine, this laptop that I'm working on, and then 9050 is that protocol I mentioned earlier, or that port, as it were, I mentioned earlier. All right, type enter, and then we refresh the page. Sometimes it takes 2 clicks, but then we'll let the page load. And Tor browsers are notoriously slow just because of the nature of the connection, but it loads eventually, and we can see our dark web content here. All that good information they don't want you to see. Awesome. And then whenever you're done and you want to go back to normie internet mode, you just type content, proxy, and then I type system. I think you can also type none, but then you can see I'm back in normie internet mode. Awesome. Now, there's also a lot of people that like using command line tools to work with networks and to connect to websites. So you can also use the same proxy, the SOCKS proxy over port 9050 for those too. So let me show you how to do that. One popular tool is curl, and for those who have never used it before, curl basically lets you make web requests to different servers and get back a response. We can even do another website like this, and then they just give you various responses. We're getting a lot of redirect requests right now. But anyway, if you wanted to use a proxy in this case, basically you type curl, then -- preproxy, And then you're going to type in that address again. So socks : //, in my case, localhost, and then : 9050 to give the port number. And then you can make your normal web requests, but it will now be through a proxy. Another great way I can show what's going on here is there's this awesome site called IPify. And IPify basically gives a public API that lets you basically see what your IP address is. So if I make a web request to this endpoint right here, and let it load for a second, we see I get this IP address right here. Now, if I go ahead and I send a hang-up signal to that daemon process, what this is going to do is this is going to reset the entire daemon. It's going to go back to its config file, reload its settings, and also for the Tor browsers, it's going to go and requisition a new set of connections and therefore a new IP address. So if I send this hang-up signal, and make sure to send it as an elevated user, all right, and then I run the same curl command from just right here. Load for a second. We can see, indeed, I do have a new IP address because I reset the connection. Awesome. Now there's one more tool I want to show you guys. And this is a very popular tool in the hacking community and people that really want to understand how network protocols work. And this tool, it's often been termed the Swiss Army knife of network protocols. It's called Netcat. Now, there's a few different versions of Netcat out there. There's the version just called Netcat spelled out. There's also NC, and then there's also ncat. They all have the same kind of base functionality, but different versions have different command line parameters and also different feature sets. For our use today, ncat has the proxy features, so I'm going to show you that one. So when you want to proxy using Netcat, you type -- proxy, and then this point's important. You need to actually enter in the IP address. I wasn't able to get the host name resolution to work where you type in localhost, so you're going to have to type in the IP address. Maybe someone else smarter than me can figure that one out. But anyway, then what you have to do is define the proxy type. You'll notice that we didn't use the socks : / protocol distinction, so we're going to have to tell it which protocol this is. So it's Socks5. All right. And then now we can just proceed as normal, but we'll be going through a proxy now. So let's go back to ipify.org, and then we'll connect over port 443. That's for SSL traffic, if you're not aware. Okay. And then, actually, we're not using TLS, so let's connect over port 80. Port 80 is actually just normal unencrypted traffic. So I'll type get this, and then another / 1.0, and this is just a very basic HTTP request, and give the server a second to respond, and we get a broken pipe. Did I mistype something? ipify.org, port 80, 9050. Let's try it one more time. Get HTTP 1.0. There we go. Maybe I took too long to type the letters and then the connection timed out. But we can see, here I have it, that IP address from earlier. All right, guys. I've showed you just a few different ways you can use Tor proxies. These are very useful for a lot of different use cases. If you need to view content and you don't want your employer to know what you're looking at, if you're testing websites, or I've used it for several other things. Go ahead, and if you like the video, give me a like. Feel free to comment below on what you liked, or tell me what you'd like to see next. And until next time, thank you.